Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Now welcome to something a little bit different on Huzzy Extra. I've tried to record this video once already and it didn't go well. Whenever I brung my footage in from my phone, I'm recording this on my phone, to my PC, whenever I rendered the video, it was like completely like crazy white out, like you couldn't see the cards. So my plan is to do kind of a more bare bones video and basically record this on my phone, edit it on my phone just to cut off the beginning and end, and then upload it directly to YouTube on my phone. So we'll see if it works. But this is my Pokemon card collection. You're not going to see every card, obviously, I own. A lot of the, hundreds and the bulk are in storage. In, storage containers, storage bins, whatever you want to call it. But these three folders have some of my more valuable cards and also complete sets within them. This one's just like a little funny one, just that I thought I'd show you because so many people probably don't know that they did this. So again, excuse the shininess, but this is the Detective Pikachu set. So this is a set that came out with the movie. Some of these cards you got by, going to the movie theater, but some I think were from some little packs basically. And if you look in the bottom left, so that says 1 out of 18. So there was only 18 cards in the set, plus kind of these special ones, the promos at the beginning. So literally like 22 cards or something in total for this like kind of mini set for the Pokemon movie. I thought the movie was kind of okay, for a kind of first attempted live action. I thought it was kind of cool. So hopefully they end up doing more. Maybe not in the Detective Pikachu line, but maybe just live action Pokemon. Why not? Because again, for those that don't know, Pokemon is the biggest franchise technically on the planet. So that's the set complete, and there's another promo there, and then also like a Detective Pikachu thing. So yeah, just a little bonus there. Again, I don't know how much value, if any, this little set has got. Maybe £100 for the complete set. I'm not really sure. The actual value moves on to these folders. Now, again, just to say why I'm doing kind of this video. One, I do get asked semi-often, I'd say a couple times a month, Huz, you talk about Pokemon a bit, what's your collection? And I've never done a video showing it, like an actual video showing the sets that I've got. But I've also been toying with the idea of, do I need these anymore? Should I sell them? So I actually went on eBay last night, and I know eBay's not the best place to get values, and someone has got a pretty similar set to mine, and they were selling it, I think it was £3,000. I think it might have been a bit more than that. But basically all the sets that I've got, and I've also got a little bit more to show. That's just for the completed sets that I've got. But I've got a couple other kind of cool pieces. So this folder just has one set in it. So some of you now probably are going to start feeling a nostalgia trip if you're a kid of the 90s like myself. So this is Gym Heroes. So it was quite a big set. If you look in the bottom right, for back in like the 90s, early 2000s, 132 base cards for the set. So you've got Blaine's Moltres, Rhydon, Clefable. Let me just see if I can turn this monitor off. I'm legit going to turn that monitor off. Oh, that's better. That's way better. There you go. So it doesn't have this kind of crazy shiny reflection constantly. But yeah, the Gym Hero set was a pretty well-liked set. I quite liked it. So again, it's basically featuring the gym leaders from the first game. A little bit of Team Rocket as well. That is not... So there was a set, I think, after this, or before this, that was basically like Team Rocket. So that's where like Dark Charizard and Dark Blastoise, that was a different set, not this one. So yeah, you've got Rocket stuff. You've got obviously the trainers themselves. So, Erica's down there. So there's going to be a bit of shininess, but I can't get rid of all of it, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully this is just a bit of a nostalgia trip. So this is a completed set, by the way. 132 out of 132. And that obviously, I will say, is a theme with the sets that I'm going to be showing you guys. But yeah, these sets, man, I do pull out these folders, I don't know, not even once a month. I probably pull out these Pokemon folders like once every 3 months, and I get like quite a big nostalgia trip myself. So just to explain, like, where did I get these from? So these aren't my cards from the 90s. So about, I want to say 8 years ago, maybe, I kind of was, I was earning okay money being a content creator. I was still living at home. I had an excess amount of money that I was just saving. And I've told the story before, But my family, you know, we've not always had, you know, financially, not everything was always amazing. And, you know, I had to pitch in when I was quite young. You know, some of my savings had to go to the family when we ever had really bad times. And I remember the first time that I ever wanted a gaming PC, I sold everything that I basically had. You know, I had my whole Xbox 360 collection, I had my PlayStation 2 collection, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you basically name it, I sold all of it. So when I was, you know, having a little bit, there's 2 Brock's Mankeys there, that's kind of weird. Repeats. But when I had a bit of success and I was still living at home and I wasn't really, you know, I wasn't financially, you know, loading a mortgage or anything like that, I was kind of like, you know what, I'm going to try and get back some what I lost. And I went a little bit on the deep end, if I'm honest. So again, the sets that you guys are going to see here, I don't want to like take all your time up because, yeah, I think the other sets people probably want to see a bit more. But yeah, this was Gym Heroes, the complete set of Gym Heroes. This was the one that I got last. And again, just to say, where did I get them? Did I buy them complete or anything? Not really, no. I think I bought maybe Jungle complete, but that was the only one as a set. You know, spoilers, there's Jungle in this. But yeah, spoilers. I only bought, I think, one of the 4 sets that I'm going to be showing you guys of the 90s and stuff. I only bought one of them complete. So most of them were like eBay lots or card shop lots, and there's that. Most of them were lots that like had partial complete. So then I'd be buying a partial completed lot and then looking for either singles or another partially completed lot that would help me complete one. All of my the one thing I would say that I have an inherent value, and that's the money shot right there, isn't it? The one thing about my sets that I would say maybe a bit above the norm, they're pretty good quality. So the only card that I've genuinely, in my 4 sets of like 90s, 2000s Pokemon cards, that I'd say could be massively improved, hilariously, is this Charizard. And if you're like, you know, oh my god, Huz, that's a base 1 Charizard from the 90s. It is. The only bit, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, in that bottom left corner, there's a little bit of damage. And that's it. That's all it's got. That's the only card that I have that I've obviously looked through these when I was collecting them all and putting these sets together, that I was literally like, damn, the one card that's got a bit of damage. But that's the thing. I bought that Charizard as an individual because the Charizards obviously are the money shot or the money piece. They are, you know, that Charizard is worth more than most of these cards combined as an individual card. So to get a really pristine Charizard is even higher value. So just to say, how much did I spend years ago on collecting these sets? And, you know, that's a first edition, but the Machamps are always first edition, practically. Again, as I said, it was like 8 years ago, so I don't remember the full value, but it wasn't as much as you'd think. So again, these 4 sets and a couple of extra things that I've got probably have several thousand of value now. Pokemon actually took a massive spike in value during the pandemic. And if you're like, really? Yeah. So basically, when everyone was locked up at home, people were finding things to do, and Pokemon kind of had a resurgence. You know, people were like, oh my god, I can get back into Pokemon, and people were tidying out their attics or their, you know, their whatever you want to call them, their storage in their garage. They were finding old Pokemon sets. So it kind of brought life back into at least the older cards as well, which is pretty cool. And obviously I already owned all of these before the pandemic, like years before the pandemic. So I've definitely, if I were to sell them, gain value. And for those that are like, you know, Huz, why would you want to sell them? I don't want to, because I think these are a really cool thing to have and eventually potentially give to my future kids down the line. But let's just say there are several thousand in value here. Me and Queen Pleb are engaged. We're now saving for a wedding. We're also wanting to do the Japanese holiday, you know. And the crazy thing is, if I sold all of these at a pretty okay value, this could be the Japan holiday. And in my head, I'm like, what's worth more? Keeping on to these Pokemon sets or going to Japan, you know? And the thing is, I've watched videos of people kind of card hunting in Tokyo. You can pick up, like, a lot of these cards in Japanese versions and everything pretty damn cheap over in Japan. So I probably would end up going to one of those kind of Japanese card stores and buying a few of, like, my favourite looks. But again, then, you know, 5 years down the line, you know, we've been to Japan, we've gotten married. Would I regret it? So that's base set 1 complete, and this is the little bonus thing that I was talking about, that, like, some of the lots on eBay don't have. So these 6 are the complete little mini set for... There's something within that Dragonite card. I think that's on the outer surface. But yeah, these 6. So Fat Pikachu over here, Electabuzz, thinner Pikachu, Dragonite, Mewtwo, and yeah, that is a sealed Ancient Mew. These are for the original Pokemon movie back in year 2000, I think. I went to go watch that in the cinema, by the way. Yes, I am that old. But yeah, all of them are pretty much pristine. And again, that mark on the Dragonite, I'm pretty damn sure is on the outside of the sleeve it's in. And if for those that are probably like going, oh my god, you have a sealed Mewtwo, or I'm sorry, Ancient Mew, it's not crazy value. That probably has a value, I would guess right now, of about 30. I think I bought that when I was collecting all this stuff for about £10. They printed millions of those Ancient Mews, and, you know, people had them in storage boxes in the thousands for years, so they have basically no value. They're cool to have. I actually have been tempted to buy another one and then open it, and then show here the opened one so you actually can see it, and then keep the sealed one underneath. I have been tempted to do that. So there's that. So I thought that was cool. This is the next set after base set 1. So this is Jungle. You can tell it's Jungle by there's like a lily pad kind of jungle plant. So again, hopefully this is giving a bit of a nostalgia trip to especially kids of the 90s. You probably would have owned some of these cards. And that's the funny thing to say. I owned a lot of these cards in the 90s. I opened them as a kid. And that's the thing, none of us knew they had they would have crazy value. Now, one thing you will see is like, there's duplicates. Yes and no. So if you look in the bottom right of that Flareon, it says 19 out of 64. That is a separate card in the set to the Flareon up here. So this Flareon, which is the holo version, is 3 out of 64. Do not ask me why they did that. I have no idea. That was a thing that they did back then. I don't know why. But yeah, very cool set. That obviously Pidgeot art is a really, you know, fan favourite from my knowledge. But yeah, these designs, man, there's so much nostalgia. But yeah, and again, when I look at this stuff, it's obviously nerdy and stuff, but it does give me happiness. That Persian I remember opening a lot as a kid. That Rhydon is like a classic Pokemon card design. But yeah, very cool. Hopefully this is giving some of you, as I said, a bit of like a, that Cubone is, again, very famous artwork. Looking out for their mum. But yeah. When I look at these, it makes me not want to sell them, by the way. But again, I'm making video evidence just in case I do sell them. I can always go back and watch this. So that's now empty. So that's Jungle. And now we move on to Fossil. And one of my favourite cards of all time, Holo Dragonite. Holo Fossil Dragonite. 4 out of 62 in the set. Very famous card. But yeah, I'm sure, you know, that Aerodactyl was a very famous design too. So let me know if you're wanting to help with this Huzzy Extra channel. You're like, oh, I don't know what to comment. Tell me what your favourite cards were that you're watching me show right now. Like, literally. So there's the non-holo version of the Dragonite. Again, I do not know why they did duplicates, one holo, one not. No idea. It's a bit annoying because it obviously limits how many individual cards really there are in a set, but they both count towards the set. You need both for it to count. And obviously, you know, if you look here, so that says 34 out of 62. That says 35 out of 62. I do them in set order, for those that are wondering. If you're like, Huz, there's Ghastly, why don't you have Gengar after it or Hunter after it? Because I do it in set order, not Pokédex order. Which is, again, the kind of standard way, obviously, to display your sets. That Krabby, obviously, I remember a lot as a kid as well. Very cool card. That Slowpoke is, again, very famous. Windows 64 Slowpoke. See, all the trainer cards. That was a... What's that? Oh, it's a promo. I actually do not know what that Snorlax is. See, this was so long ago, I would have got that for some reason. That's a like, in the bottom right, look, it says promo. I'm going to have to look up what that card is. I don't know what it is. 2016 Pokemon. Oh, that must have been a different set. That says 2016 on the bottom. When obviously, if you look at all of these ones, so down here, 1995, 96, 98, Game Freak, 1999, Wizards. So Wizards of the Coast obviously made the sets back then. So all of these are the original ones from the 90s. So I don't know what that is, and I don't know why I actually have it in here. So I'll have to look that up. Now we're kind of getting into just random cards. So I'm not going to show this too much, but yeah, this is my obviously Charizard and Charmander page. Just random Charmander and Charizards. He's my favorite Pokemon. And then I've just got random full arts. Some of them might have value. I haven't individually looked up them at all. But yeah, some of them will have value, but I doubt anything major. Some of you may remember many years ago, I opened, and I think I did it on a video as well, or a stream. It was a shiny Charizard. It was a Charizard EX or something, and it was a shiny, so a black Charizard. You won't see that anymore here, by the way. Oh, this is a pretty cool page too. So this is my double Pikachu page. But yeah, just to say, I sold that Charizard card for £600 back then because I could not warrant keeping one Charizard for £600. I just couldn't do it. So this is a mini set that I completed. I, from memory, bought this in one bulk, I think. So this is for the Pokemon I Choose You movie. But this was something that was released, as you can see, in 2017. Again, I'd have to research all of like why, but it's for the Pikachu project, and each of these Pikachus have a different hat that Ash has worn in the anime of all the different series. So I have all of them. But I'd have to research if there's any value in that. I've got no idea. And then the other ones are just random Pikachus. Because, again, Pikachu's pretty cool, man. So some of them are value, some of them don't. Most of them are, like, again, that's 2016. So those aren't, like, original surfing and flying Pikachu from back in the day. They're, like, reprints when they did them. And then, yeah, we got some cool stuff. So, like, Ho-Ho, Shining Lugia, Shining Celebi, Shining Rayquaza, Shining Volcanion. But again, these aren't from, like, the original early 2000s set where they actually had crazy value. This was a reprint that they probably did years later. So, again, that's the difference. My base set 1, Gym Heroes, Fossil, and Jungle, those are the original sets from the 90s, and that's why they have so much value. All the other stuff is modern stuff, you know. 2016, obviously, yes, it's 8 years ago now, but it's still pretty damn modern compared to, obviously, the stuff from the early 2000s. I like that Pidgeot card. That's pretty cool. But yeah, hopefully you guys have just enjoyed this. We're coming to an end now, just last couple pages. But yeah, if you know Pokemon really well and you vaguely know what, you know, if you see a card, you're like, oh, that's got actually pretty good value, please let me know. Because what I've been tempted to do, I don't love the idea of eBay. I have Googled, and it would probably mean I'd have to go into the middle of London, but I'm okay with that. There's a couple of like card stores in the middle of London, and I'd be tempted to go there with my whole collection and basically make an appointment, let them know I'm coming. You know, I wouldn't just randomly want to turn up. Let's go on like the best page probably of the whole set, this one. I wouldn't want to just randomly turn up. So I'd let them know I'm coming. I'd let them know what I'm coming with. And then maybe I'd go in and kind of go, what would you offer me? And I'd probably do it like that. Because, you know, yes, it would be less if I go to a store like that, but they would buy hopefully everything versus me piecing it out. You know, I've got a full-time job as it is. I know, you know, it's busier than people think. I'm now doing content here on Huzzy Extra as well, so I'm even more, you know, busy. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm tempted to keep them, but I'm also tempted to get rid of them, so I'm kind of undecided. Let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe you guys will like help me decide. But that's going to be it. Hopefully this has worked this time, because it hasn't the last time. But if you guys did enjoy going through nostalgia lane with me, looking at old Pokemon cards from the 90s, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and let me know what your favourite Pokemon, or several of the cards, which ones were your favourite. Obviously, that's my one. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!